Virle Kaee, rare are those in this world. Prem Pagat jis ape de, jag meh virle Kaee, one whom the Lord Himself blesses with loving devotional worship, is very rare in this world. Gurmat Jivan, Braham Giani, Sant Kartar Singh Ji Bariaranwale. Life of Braham Giani, Sant Kartar Singh Ji Bariaranwale. Haryape param pulaeda, haryape hi mat de, Gurmukha man pargas hai, se virle Kaee. The Lord Himself leads us astray in doubt. The Lord Himself imparts understanding. The minds of the Gurmukhs are illuminated and enlightened. They are so very rare. Birth and childhood. Sant Ji was born in 1918 at village Bariar near Kumaon in district Gurdaspur. Name of his mother was Mata Gujar Kaur Ji and father's name was Sardar Sundar Singh Ji. They were 5 brothers and 3 sisters. His eldest sister Kartar Kaur Ji was blessed with God-given meditational nature ever since her birth. She would keep sitting in meditation for hours together at a stretch. Throughout, she lived a very pious life. His second sister was Bibi Anant Kaur Ji. At number 3 was his brother Darshan Singh Ji. Sant Ji himself was at number 4. Shingara Singh Ji was younger brother of Sant Ji and was at number 5. And 6th one was Sardar Pyara Singh Ji. Sardar Mohan Singh Ji was at number 7. And the last one at number 8 was his youngest sister Bibi Hans Kaur Ji, who is married at village Kaee. Up to 8th standard, Sant Ji studied in government school at village Kumaon. Ever since his childhood, he was a solitude-loving child. He was never very playful, like other children of his age. Due to his compassionate nature, he would make small dwellings with sticks for little puppies and would often say that they too feel cold, like all of us. He would save some pieces of roti, bread, from his own food for the dogs and their puppies. We can say that in a way he was blessed with a very kind heart ever since his childhood. Job and married life. In February 1937, while still he was studying, the army recruitment started. He went to the army recruitment camp held at Canal Rest House at village Atwal and he was selected. He possessed a well-built body, so he did not face any difficulty in getting selected. After joining the army, whenever he would be free from his duty, he would spend most of his time in the prayer of God. During his service, he cleared some courses and was duly promoted as well. His superiors in the army were quite impressed by his lifestyle and used to respect him a lot. Many of his superiors would tell him not to salute them, but very politely he would say that it was his duty to salute his superiors, and moreover it was mandatory as per army rules. Due to his soft-spoken behavior and meditational attitude, whosoever came in his contact could not but get highly impressed. Whenever any of his senior officers would proceed on leave, they would always prefer handing over their charge to Sant Ji, because they were quite confident that in their absence, Sant Ji would not allow anybody to indulge in any kind of corruption or wrongdoing, etc. Hence, by doing so, they would proceed on leave without any kind of stress in their minds. Once during his service, one of his companions, Sardar Swaran Singh, took him to a Kirtan Samagam, devotional hymn singing program. Sant Gurbaksh Singh from village Jabbowal, district Amritsar, was performing Kirtan. Actually, that Kirtan was to continue throughout the night and was called Rain Sabai Kirtan. With God's grace, it so happened that while listening the Kirtan, Sant Ji got so absorbed in it that he attained the state of Samadhi, continuous meditational state. It can also be described as a state when without any effort one keeps on reciting God's name. After some time, Sardar Swaran Singh told Sant Ji that they should go back. Sant Ji told him to go alone. and requested to fetch him in the morning from the Kirtan Darbar itself. He kept sitting in that position all through the night, listening to Kirtan. For this act of kindness, Sant Ji remained indebted to Sardar Swaran Singh Ji throughout his life and never disobeyed him. He got married to Bibi Charan Kaur Ji of village Rangar Nangal of district Gurdaspur in 1946 in the vernacular month of Maghar. At that time, he was serving as a Havaldar in the army. Soon after, Hindustan, India was divided and there were lots of riots. Sant Ji was transferred to Punjab on Indian side. When he visited his in-laws, his father-in-law told him that it would be more appropriate if he would take his wife to his village Bariar. He explained that the situation in their village was quite tense because there was a lot of Muslim population in their village. Obeying his father-in-law, he brought his wife to his village. After availing his leave, he went back to join his duty. After about 6 months, he was transferred to Pune. He again came back to his village to avail his leave for 2 months. Most of the time, he would prefer to stay at his uncle, Labh Singh's Chacha Ji's house, because he loved Sant Ji immensely. On the expiration of his leave, he took his wife along with him to Pune, where his other friends like Lal Singh, Sardar Mohan Singh and Sardar Swaran Singh etc. were also staying. All of them used to prepare and share the food in the same kitchen. After about 1.5 years, he had to come back to his village due to the death of his father-in-law. Thereafter, he left his wife back at his village and went back to join his duty at Pune. In the year 1951, he was blessed with a son, who was named as Chamkaur Singh. Actually, before Chamkaur Singh's birth, a daughter was also born, but she could not survive after birth. In all, he was blessed with 2 sons, Bhai Chamkaur Singh and Bhai Joginder Singh, Canada, and 3 daughters, namely Bibi Manjinder Kaur, nicknamed Rani, Canada, Bibi Harjinder Kaur, Canada, and Bibi Paramjeet Kaur. During those years, he developed an overwhelming love for God. He wrote a letter home that from then onwards he would be in the service of Satguru Ji and that they should not wait for his letter henceforth. He started spending most of his time meditating in the name of God. Once it so happened that he got so much absorbed in meditation in the name of God that he forgot to attend his parade duty. But Satguru Ji performed his duty. He was quartermaster at that time. As it is common practice everywhere, some jealous persons complained to the seniors that Kartar Singh didn't attend the parade. After the inquiry, it was found that nobody was absent. Still, Sant Ji confessed that he indeed did not attend to his duty on that particular day, despite the fact that his officer in charge and other soldiers confirmed that he had performed his duty and supervised the parade. From that day onwards, he decided with firm mind that as Satguru Ji had performed his duty, he would serve only and only to his Satguru Ji, and he resigned from his service. His senior officers tried their utmost to persuade him to continue with his service, and even agreed to promote him to the post of Subedar. Many of his friends also tried to convince him and requested him not to leave the job by citing his responsibility towards his family and telling him that it would be quite difficult to find a job again. He candidly told all of them that Satguru Ji was always there to take care of everything, and he would definitely make some arrangement for the fulfillment of his responsibilities. Some of the incidents after he left his job. After leaving his job, he came back home and told his wife that he had permanently come home and told her that he would be proceeding on a tour to various religious places on a bicycle for 3 months. While moving from his house, he told his wife that a letter would come in his name at Sardar Teja Singh's address and advised her to keep that letter carefully. After taking some clothes, he went to his friend Lal Singh at Adampur on bicycle and told him to accompany him to Sri Harmandir Sahib. Sardar Teja Singh was Sant Ji's friend ever since his childhood, and both loved each other dearly. Most of his letters often used to come at his address. Just a few days after leaving his house, a letter reached at Teja Singh's address. He came to Sant Ji's house and told his wife that a job offer letter from Pillai steel plant had come. Sant Ji's wife told him, Teja Singh, that she would not send him anywhere anymore for any kind of job. So she didn't attach much importance to that letter. After some time, a second letter was again received from the same place. Now she remembered that while leaving, Sant Ji had told her that a letter would come and she should keep that carefully. Nobody actually knew where Sant Ji had gone, so it was difficult to find him and convey him the message about the letters. It was decided to wait for him to come back, and then it would be decided what to do with those letters. Just after 4 days, when the second letter was received, Sant Ji reached back home. The very first question he asked was whether some letter in his name had been received or not. He was told that 2 job letters had been received from Pillai steel plant. His wife told him that she did not attach much importance to those letters because she won't allow him to go anywhere to join any kind of job. Eventually, both the letters were brought from Teja Singh's house, and Sant Ji requested his wife to allow him to go, but she was adamant and was not ready to listen to any of the pleas. Then Sant Ji asked Sardar Teja Singh to convince her and said that everyone should abide by the commandment of Vaheguru Ji, and if at all one has to love, it should be with the soul and not with the body of a person. After a lot of deliberations, whole family agreed and he started preparation to go to Pillai, Madhya Pradesh. At that time, construction work was going on at full swing at the Pillai steel plant. Ex-servicemen were preferred for various jobs. Lot of labor from Punjab along with lot many other people from various other states had also reached there in search of jobs. This way, Sant Ji reached Pillai and his old friend Sardar Swaran Singh Ji came to receive him at Pillai railway station. Both of them kept working together at that place. As the fragrance of sandalwood cannot be concealed for long, so very soon lovers of the god, satsangis, started coming together. There would be a religious congregation, satsang, daily, and seekers who were yearning to taste the nectar of Naam started coming together. There was lot of enthusiasm amongst the Sangat to avail maximum advantage of those religious congregations, satsang. After about 6 months, Bhai Kapoor Singh Ji was sent to Punjab. He conveyed Sant Ji's message to his wife that a handmade mat, dari, was required for the Sangat. She was told that as desired by Sant Ji, the cotton thread required for the preparation of that mat, dari, should be collected from all the relatives. Details of the names of the relatives from whom cotton thread was to be procured was also given by Sant Ji. As per the instructions, the dari was prepared and was handed over to Sardar Swaran Singh Ji at Jalandhar. When Sant Ji's wife, Bibi Charan Kaur Ji, went to Sardar Swaran Singh's house along with Sardar Jagir Singh, Sardar Swaran Singh, showing his concern about the poor health of Bibi Ji, asked as to why she was looking so weak. Bibi Ji just said that everything was okay, but Jagir Singh narrated some incidents of the family and said that the elder brother, Sant Ji, always remained completely absorbed in the meditation and hardly ever took any interest for the care of his family. After reaching Pillai, Sardar Swaran Singh forcefully asked Sant Ji to call his wife to Pillai. Sant Ji never used to turn down any of the suggestions given by Sardar Swaran Singh, so he came to Punjab and went back to Pillai along with his wife. When Bibi Ji started attending the religious congregation, satsang, she felt that effortless recitation of Vaheguru Ji would start as soon as she would join the satsangat. At that time, only 10 to 20 persons used to attend the satsang, and this congregation used to be held at Bhai Pyara Singh Padda's house. Government houses were very small and were actually built to accommodate one employee only. After living at Pillai for some time, Bibi Ji decided to come back to Punjab along with her children. She told Sant Ji that she had experienced a very blissful feeling while attending the Sangat in Pillai, but now she was worried that she would not be able to attend the Sangat after going back to her village. She requested Sant Ji to bless her so that she could remain attached with the Sangat forever. Sant Ji just said that as per the inherent nature of Sangat, even if she would wish to leave the Sangat, Sangat wouldn't leave her. So she should not worry about that and should go without any stress. After BBG came back home, Pai Tanna Singh and Pai Pal Singh came from Pillai and gave her Atam Science magazine, written by Pai Raghbir Singh Bir. They told her that daily in the evening, she should ask someone to read that for her, and all of them should sit down and listen that attentively. That would be as good as attending the Sangat. In this way, the whole family started enjoying satsang every day in the evening. Taking turns, they would sing some hymns, and that process continued ever after. Various incidents of Sant Ji's life as described by his companions. Sant Kartar Singh Ji Bariaranwale was fondly referred to as Papa Ji, and in the ensuing text, same name or Sant Ji would be used for him. He was an enlightened soul and a saint of the highest spiritual order, leading a normal life like anyone else, working in the army and then joining the job in Pillai steel plant, alongside meditating in the name of God, and by doing selfless service, he achieved highest spiritual level with the blessings of Satguru Ji. He became a guiding source for many individuals who wished to tread the spiritual path. The prominent incidents from his life, as described by his family members, his fellow companions, and many others, were recorded in tapes, are being described in the following text. Bhai Gurbachan Singh Ji of village Madhyala, Mehtewale. He was a merchant who used to purchase the produce from the nearby villages and would sell that in the local market. Wheat was being harvested, and in connection with his business, he reached village Bariar. It was noon time and it was a very hot day. He wanted to take some rest and found a suitable place in Pai Jagir Singh's outhouse. When he reached there, incidentally Papaji was also sitting there. He had come home to avail his leave. As per his routine, Papaji used to sit there in solitude throughout the day and would go back to his home in the evening. When Gurbachan Singh reached there, Papaji was totally absorbed in deep meditation. Gurbachan Singh did not notice anything and just sat in the veranda, an open space in front of the rooms, looking outside and wiping his sweat. After a while, when Papaji opened his eyes, he saw that Paiji was completely drenched in sweat. He took cold water from an earthen pitcher and took out some jaggery, which he always used to keep with him, and gave it to Pai Gurbachan Singh. Without giving any special attention to Sant Ji, he ate the jaggery and drank the cold water. He again became busy with his business calculations. After some time, someone brought food for Sant Ji from his house. Sant Ji, with great love and affection, offered that food first to Pai Ji, and then he ate the remaining food himself. Pai Gurbachan Singh Ji, completely lost in his own self, came back home. He just felt as if he had forgotten something at that place. He quickly returned to the same place where Sant Ji was sitting. Factually, he did not forget anything, so just after looking here and there, and without applying much effort to find the alleged forgotten thing, he went back home. Papaji, after availing his leave, went back to join his duty. Paiji was touched by the love and affection shown by Sant Ji. A feeling of gratitude for Sant Ji had developed in his mind. He often would wonder that how could anybody shower so much love and affection upon a stranger without even knowing him, and in heart of hearts, he started yearning to meet him again at the earliest possible occasion. Next year, when Sant Ji again came back on leave, then Paiji would often come to meet him. Sant Ji would always offer him food, etc. with same love and affection. Papaji occasionally started sharing some spiritual thoughts with Paiji, which he always used to enjoy, but Paiji himself was totally ignorant about any kind of spiritual knowledge. He had never ever attended any religious congregation, Sangat, nor ever he listened to any of the Gurbani discourses. As a matter of fact, his mind was always engaged in his business thoughts. There could be a hidden connection which was forcing him to meet Sant Ji time and again. One day Papaji just asked him if he had some formal education. He told Sant Ji that he had cleared his FA level, equal to today's +2 level exam. Then Papaji gave him a magazine and asked him to read that regularly. That magazine was of Bhai Raghbir Singh Bir Ji's Atma Science, of which Papaji was a life member. A person named Dalip Singh, who was from the same village as that of Bhai Gurbachan Singh, that is, village Madhyala, was of religious bent of mind and always yearned to tread on the spiritual path to achieve higher spiritual levels. He used to love Gurbani. Bhai Gurbachan Singh told Dalip Singh that he had met with a person whose nature was similar to his, Dalip Singh's nature. His, Sant Ji's, talks are quite sensible and suggested that he should go to see him. He told him that Sant Ji had come to avail his leave. One day both of them went to see Sant Ji, and after the very first meeting, Dalip Singh became an ardent fan of Sant Ji. Then Bhai Dalip Singh Ji would keep on sitting by the side of Sant Ji for hours together and would keep on listening to the spiritual talks. Sant Ji was so soft-spoken and full of love and affection that it was difficult for anybody not to get impressed by his discourses. One day Sant Ji went to Bhai Gurbachan Singh Ji's house at Madhyala village to ask his father to allow him to accompany him, Sant Ji. His father bluntly refused by saying that it was the peak time for their business, so he was not free to go anywhere. Sant Ji went back without saying anything, but God has His own ways. That year, they suffered heavy losses in their business, while on the contrary, they were expecting high profits in that season. His father was almost sure in his mind that everything had happened because of his refusal to Sant Ji. After 1.5 months, Sant Ji again went there and repeated the same request to send Gurbachan Singh with him. This time his father told Sant Ji with folded hands that he can take him along wherever he wanted to. He told Sant Ji that by refusing him on the first occasion, he had already suffered great business losses. This way, from that day onwards, Bhai Gurbachan Singh was free to accompany Sant Ji wherever and whenever Sant Ji wanted Bhai Ji to accompany him. Then both of them went to Munda village on bicycles. Sant Ji was in a habit of driving bicycles at a very steady pace, but Bhai Ji used to drive quite fast. He would move ahead and then would wait for Sant Ji to join him. While traveling, Gurbachan Singh told Sant Ji that he was feeling very hungry because he did not eat anything in the morning while moving from his house. He requested Sant Ji to allow him to go to the nearby shops to eat something. Sant Ji asked him to keep moving and assured that he would be provided with the sumptuous food very shortly. Both of them were traveling by the road built along the banks of a canal. Rightly so, just after traveling a short distance, an old man was standing on the road with folded hands and requested them to take food at his house. He had prepared different varieties of delicious food items, which he offered them. Not only that, he was making them repeated requests to eat more. Bhai Gurbachan Singh was quite pleased to have sumptuous food, but at the same time he was quite astonished as to how come Sant Ji knew beforehand that a nice meal was waiting for them. By that time, he was totally unaware about the spiritual level of Sant Ji. He only knew that Sant Ji loved him dearly. By the evening, they reached village Munda Pind at the house of Bhai Kapoor Singh Ji. Sant Ji took his bath and so did Bhai Gurbachan Singh Ji. Their beds were arranged on 2 different cots, just close to each other. Sant Ji sat on his bed to meditate in the name of God, and Bhai Ji also sat with crossed legs, as if he was imitating Sant Ji. He never knew anything about meditation and how it was to be done. Suddenly, as if a miracle was happening, he started experiencing strange feeling of extreme concentration of mind and started witnessing strange visual scenes in front of his eyes. He could not behold that strange experience and started shouting. Sant Ji just cautioned him and asked him to remain silent. He was not able to comprehend for how long he remained in that state of ecstasy. Till today, Bhai Ji keeps on remembering that experience and keeps yearning to experience that yet again. Often he says that if he had not experienced that kind of ecstatic state of mind, he would never have been a devout Sikh. After that incident, Bhai Gurbachan Singh Ji started spending most of his time in the Sangat. If ever he would miss the Sangat, maybe for a day or two, Sant Ji used to call him by sending some person. He was so overwhelmed by Sant Ji's love and affection that he could never move away from Sant Ji for the rest of his life. He would always remain available for any kind of service required by the Sangat. He became so popular in the Sangat that everyone, right from children to old people, would call him without any hesitation for any kind of service that they would be in need of. A young man, namely Sukhdev Singh, was from the same village as that of Bhai Ji, and he was known to be very good in studies. After completing his matriculation examination, he got admission in Khalsa College for higher studies. As fate would have it, he developed some mental ailment and had to discontinue his studies. He would always keep on sitting under a banyan tree and was almost a complete mental wreck. He hardly ever was able to sleep. One day he went to Bhai Gurbachan Singh's shop where Atma Science magazine was being read. Sukhdev Singh, while listening to that, went into sleep in the shop itself, lying on the gunny bags. Bhai Ji stopped reading the magazine so as not to disturb his sleep. Now Sukhdev Singh started coming daily to Bhai Ji's shop to listen to the Atma Science magazine discourse. He would look quite calm and composed while listening and would often go to sleep. Bhai Ji took him to Sant Ji. The moment he reached there, it was as if they had met each other after remaining separated for many births. Lots of love was exchanged. In the company of Sant Ji, his mental ailment slowly over a period of time started getting cured. One day Sant Ji asked him why he had sheared off his hair. He told him that he was having some mental ailment and that was why he had shorn off his hair. Sant Ji told him that in such a condition, one required more mental energy for the growth of hair and that could even worsen his disease. This made Sukhdev Singh a bit scared as he was already suffering from a serious mental ailment. Then he made another excuse that actually because of the hardness of water, the soap did not come out of his hair. Sant Ji washed his head himself and told him that nothing of the sort had happened. After that, he never ever shorn off his hair and regularly started attending the Sangat. He was fond of singing religious songs with Tumbi, a small vernacular version of Tanpura. His voice was quite melodious. After some time, he started singing hymns and performing kirtan in the Sangat along with his fellow companions. They would keep on doing kirtan for hours together. After many years, he was able to clear his JBT exam and was appointed as a teacher. Once, Sant Gurbachan Singh Ji Bariaranwale came to Mehta town for religious preachings. Congregation used to be held both in the morning and evening. Sant Ji along with Bhai Gurbachan Singh Ji went there to attend the religious discourse. It was very impressive. After the discourse, Sant Ji met Sant Gurbachan Singh Ji and requested him to bless him so that he could achieve oneness with God. Sant Gurbachan Singh Ji asked him to come to his resting room. Both of them deliberated at length about various religious matters. Then Sant Gurbachan Singh Ji Bariaranwale told Sant Ji that Satguru Ji was quite pleased with him and all his spiritual treasures would always remain open for him. Whenever Sant Ji used to come on leave from the army, he would spend most of his time in a small hut, which he used to get constructed prior to his arrival. Bhai Gurbachan Singh Ji, Bhai Dalip Singh Ji and Bhai Sukhdev Singh Ji, all three of them would regularly come to meet Sant Ji and seek his blessings. When Sant Ji would go back to join his duty, they would read Atma Science magazine in the form of a Sangat. They would keep on remembering the holy words of Sant Ji to refresh Sant Ji's memories in their minds. Establishment of Nanak Pandar. Once it so happened that due to paucity of rain, crops could not grow. It was a pitiable condition for the poor people because it was becoming difficult for them to feed their children. Nobody can do anything against the will of God. Kind-hearted Bhai Dalip Singh Ji could not bear the pain of the poor people. Desperately, he asked the priest of the Gurdwara, Granth, to pray to God and request him to always provide enough food grain for the poor people so as to make their both ends meet. That was how the prayer was performed to seek the mercy of God. Then he discussed the situation with Sant Ji. Sant Ji explained that if whole of the world would start abiding by the proclamation made by Guru Nanak Dev Ji and start donating 10% of their earnings, then nobody in the whole world would go to sleep without food and nobody would ever suffer from poverty. Then Bhai Dalip Singh Ji asked Sant Ji to suggest what should be done in that given situation. Sant Ji told him to take out 10% from his produce and tell others to do the same. Then the share of 10% contributed by all the people should be kept at one place and should be distributed amongst the needy as per their requirement. This way, the Guru Nanak Pandar came into existence and Bhai Dalip Singh was given its charge. Though he was not formally educated, still he was very much expert in mathematical calculations. He was an example unto himself as far as honesty and truthfulness was concerned. For example, if any of the brothers or any two parties in the whole village were to divide their property amongst themselves, everybody used to respect and abide by his decision undoubtedly. This Pandar continued for quite some time, and when Sant Ji came in contact with Bariaranwale Taksaal, Mehta, he asked everybody to deposit their 10% share with the Taksaal, because as per his thought, Taksaal was doing much greater service for the humanity. Dalip Singh used to recite Sri Shiromani Sahib Ji's text with regular routine. He knew this Bani by heart. He would always keep on reciting this Bani even while walking around. One day, to make his elder son Gurnam Singh understand the importance of 10% donation in the name of Guruji, he asked him to weigh all his produce of wheat. Then he told his son to take out 10% donation as per the commandment of Guruji. 10% was taken out and was kept separately. Again he asked to weigh the remaining produce. When it was weighed again, it turned out to be a little more than it was weighed before taking out 10% of the donation. Then he explained that when we bow to the commandment of Guruji, one could never suffer any kind of loss. He did that exercise to make his children understand the importance of donating 10% share in the name of Guruji. Two saintly sisters of Sant Ji, Bibi Kartar Kaur and Bibi Hans Kaur. Both sisters were married in the same village of Kaee, Butri, in district Amritsar. Elder sister Bibi Kartar Kaur was very simple and straightforward by her nature. She used to love Sant Ji very dearly. Her spiritual level was such that she would keep on sitting in the Gurdwara for hours together. Whenever Sant Ji would come to his village to avail his leave, she would come to the village Bariar and would always stay with him. She would go back to her village only after Sant Ji would go back to join his duty. When Sant Ji would sit for meditation for long hours, she would also keep sitting in samadhi by his side. As per her routine, she would daily go to the Gurdwara in the morning, and more often than not, she would remain there for whole of the day. Her in-laws did not like that. They used to take it as an insult to their family that their daughter-in-law kept on sitting in the Gurdwara for whole of the day. They were afraid that the people of their village might raise questioning fingers as to why their daughter-in-law was doing so. Sometimes they would send her sister Hanso to call her from the Gurdwara. She would try to make her understand the concern of the family, but she would say, "Hanso, it is not under my control. Only my Satguru Ji knows about it. I am unable to explain it to anybody. May this happen to you someday, then I'll ask you to explain." Bua Ji Kartar Kaur, Taro, was approaching fast towards the end of her life. Kashmir Singh and Balbir Singh, both brothers, went to Kaee to inquire about her health. What they saw was that Bua Ji was in a critical condition. Her respiration was running quite fast. Both of them returned to village Bariar hurriedly. They told Papa Ji about her condition. He asked both of them to eat something quickly, as all of them would immediately be going back to Kaee. Quickly, Papaji got ready to go. All three of them started going to Kaee on a motorcycle. Just when they traveled for about 4 miles or so, they met with an accident. Balbir Singh suffered some injuries while Kashmir Singh and Papaji had a narrow escape. They came back to drop Balbir Singh at their home. After giving him the necessary treatment, Papaji asked Kashmir Singh to move fast as they were getting late. They reached Kaee village and saw that Bhai Kulwant Singh, elder son of Puaji, was reciting Shri Sukhmani Sahib's Bani, and the last Ashpadi stanza was just started. Sant Ji told him to continue with the recitation, and Sant Ji caught hold of her hand. Her respiration grew even faster. When Kashmir Singh recited the last couplet, Sab te ooch taki sobha bani, Nanak eh gun naam sukhmani. His glory becomes the highest of all. O Nanak, by these glorious virtues, this is named Sukhmani, peace of mind. Papaji placed her hand on her chest. Her body suddenly calmed down, and Sant Ji asked everybody to abide by the eternal commandment of the Almighty God. Bibi Hans Kaur. The storyline of Bibi Hans Kaur is somewhat lengthy, but would be expressed in the shortest possible words in this book. Her present spiritual level is such that she remains absorbed in the recitation of God's name all through 24 hours of the day. She always keeps on enjoying the essence of Naam. If someone would look at her face, he would feel as if she is eating something. Then occasionally she would make a gulping sound as if she is swallowing something down her throat. If she is asked about it, she explains that her mouth gets filled up with some strange tasty liquid, which she has to swallow repeatedly, but it fills up again and again. This process continues all through 24 hours of the day, along with the recitation of Naam. She is quite innocent and simple by her nature. Once Sant Ji came home on leave and went to meet her at village Kaee. Family of Bibi Hans Kaur had started the construction of their house. Walls were erected, but rooftops were not laid down at that time. Sant Ji just told Hanso that he wanted to give her something. Bibi Hanso thought that her brother might have thought that due to the paucity of funds, rooftops were not laid down. Thinking like that, Bibi Hanso told Sant Ji that she does not need any money, and she started explaining that the rooftops were not laid down because they were busy in some other important and unavoidable task. But now they were free, and soon they would lay down the rooftops of all the rooms. Sant Ji said that he was not thinking of giving her money. Rather, he wanted to give her some spiritual thing from the treasure of Guru Nanak Dev Ji. Sant Ji didn't elaborate it further. Time just passed by at its own pace. One fine day, when Bibi Hanso was preparing dinner in her open kitchen, a miracle happened with her. She listened to a very loud hissing sound in the sky. When she looked up, what she saw was a word written in light, consisting of 4 alphabets, and black lines were drawn both below and above it. Quite rapidly, it was approaching towards Bibi Hanso. In no time, it struck into her forehead. Her vision got blurred with light, and she was completely lost in that moment. After this incident, she was not able to sleep all throughout 24 hours of the day. Whenever she used to lie down for going to sleep, she would feel as if her head was going to burst, and something would come out. She would feel extreme pressure in her head, which would be relieved to some extent only if she would remain in sitting position. This condition continued for 3 months. Whole of her family was disturbed because she was not sleeping at all, and they were scared that she might lose her mental balance. They tried all types of treatments from all types of doctors, etc., but nothing was working and her condition wasn't improving. Whole family was under great stress and was feeling helpless. Bibi Hanso was also worried because of her continuous sleeplessness. The positive aspect of this depressing situation was that her health or her eyesight was not getting affected in any way. Whole family was getting fatigued because they were not getting any positive results. One day, Bibi Hanso asked her family to send her to her brother's house in village Bariar. She said that she was not going to get cured and was sure to die, so she would like to die at her ancestral village only. Family was hesitant to send her in that condition, fearing what the society would say. Bibi Hanso tried to convince them that they had tried their best and there did not seem to be any way out. Moreover, nothing else remained to be done as far as her treatment was concerned. When she remained adamant, her family left her at village Bariar. Just when she reached there, her nephew, Bhai Balwinder Singh, started playing Guru Mantra on tape recorder. As soon as she started listening to Guru Mantra, she felt a bit relieved. She became optimistic that she would be cured. Early in the morning, Balwinder Singh asked her to take her bath. When water was being poured onto her head for giving her head bath, she felt as if a lot of burden was being taken off her head. She felt quite relieved after that. Then she started spending more and more time in listening to the Guru Mantra because she would always feel calmed down after listening to Guru Mantra. With every passing day, she was feeling improvement in her health. At Bariar, whole atmosphere used to be that of a satsangat. Slowly but surely, she started going to sleep as well. Not only that, she also started taking proper diet. Then time came when she suddenly became deaf. She could only see the lip movements of the people around, but was not able to listen to what they were talking. Another strange fact was that she was able to listen to the recitation of Gurbani or singing of Kirtan perfectly, but she was unable to listen to any of the worldly conversations. Passing through various phases and witnessing various miracles which happened to her from time to time, her spiritual level was uplifted to the level that she started enjoying the essence of Naam all through 24 hours of the day, as has been described earlier. If anyone would ask her how did it taste, she would explain that it tasted as if some sweet made of condensed milk, barfi, was dissolved in her mouth. Nowadays, most of the time she keeps on sitting, and rare are the occasions when she strolls around. She says that she feels good while sitting, so she does not like to get up or stroll around anymore. In spite of the fact that recitation of Naam continues all through 24 hours, still quite often she says that Shabad has not permanently entrenched into her heart. Explainingly, she says that this condition cannot be explained by anyone but for a Gursikh who actually had gone through this process. This simulates a situation when a dumb man eats jaggery, and if he is asked to explain its taste, it is impossible for him to explain that. Actually, the words of Sant Ji that he wanted to give Bibi Hanso something from the treasure of Guru Nanak Dev Ji are coming true, and Bibi Ji is enjoying the precious gift. So it is true that a sadhu's reach cannot be described in words. These days, she is blessed with the listening of Anhad Shabad. Sometimes when she is in a state of ecstasy, she talks a few things, which are actually the words of inner realization. These words are always as per the spirit of Gurbani, and one can correlate them with various verses of Gurbani. Since the time when she was baptized and Amrit, holy nectar, was poured into her mouth, eyes, and onto her head, whole of her body remains cold and clammy. Even if she is given dried up ginger, sond, to eat, her body temperature does not change at all. Now, uninterrupted recitation of Shabad, an essence of Naam, not only remains continuous, but at times its speed also increases. She is in this condition for the last 25 years. One day she prayed to Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji, Satguru Ji, you have blessed me with the holy job of recitation of Naam for the last about 25 years. Still I am unable to see anything beyond that. She pleaded to be blessed with further progress in her spiritual journey. After about 4 days of that prayer, Satguru Ji blessed her with Anhad Shabad, unstruck melody. This happened during night time. When she experienced it for the first time, she hurriedly got up and took her bath and went to Gurdwara Sahib situated just in front of her house. Reaching there, she found that doors of the Gurdwara Sahib were closed, but she was hearing Kirtan continuously. Only then she could realize that Satguru Ji has blessed her. The first holy hymn, Shabad, which she heard was Sache Sahiba kya nahi kar tera, karta tera sab kich hai, jis dehe so paave. O my true Lord and Master, what is there which is not in your celestial home? Everything is in your home. They receive unto whom you give. Along with the recitation of this Shabad, various types of musical instruments were also being played continuously. After she was blessed with Anhad Shabad, she said that Satguru Ji had blessed her with holy Naam in her heart. Joyfully she explains that the enjoyment she is experiencing cannot be explained in words. It can only be experienced. The verse says, Kaho Kabir, gunge gud khaya, puche te kya kahiye. Says Kabir, the mute has tasted the molasses, but what can he say about it if he is asked? Another verse says, Kaho Nanak, santan ras aayi hai, jo chak gunga muskar hai. Says Nanak, the saints savor this sublime essence, like the mute who tastes the sweet candy but only smiles. In spite of the fact that she is completely illiterate, many a times when she tells the verses of the holy hymns she was listening to, one gets astonished because she had never read the text of Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. I, author, feel blessed by Satguru Granth Sahib Ji, who has provided me the companionship, love and affection of such sacred souls, which otherwise are not only difficult but almost impossible to find. The holy verse says, Kotan mein Nanak ko Narayan jeh cheet. Among millions, O Nanak, there is scarcely anyone who keeps the Lord in his consciousness. Another verse is Sramani Kirtan Simran Swami Eho Sad Ko Achar. This is the way of life of the holy saint. He listens to the Kirtan, the praises of his Lord and Master, and meditates in the remembrance on him. I always pray to Satguru Ji to keep me in the companionship of such holy souls till my last breath. Bibi Hans Kaur Ji was made to forsake gold. Sant Ji baptized Bibi Hans Kaur Ji in her dream and took away her gold earrings along with all other gold ornaments and threw them away. After this incident, she got actually baptized by 5 chosen ones, Panj Pyaras. She was once baptized during her childhood also, but she did not maintain the prescribed code of conduct. Now after getting baptized for the second time, she took off all her gold ornaments. Her friends in the village told her that these restrictions were only for about 40 days, and after that she can wear gold ornaments again. She agreed with that and wore her earrings after the completion of 40 days. She went to attend a marriage wearing her gold earrings, where her ears got swollen. She thought that if she would take them off there only, it would be difficult for her to keep them safely, so she decided that she would remove them after going back home. After reaching home, when she tried to take them off, both her ears got torn. Only then she could realize that Sant Ji had asked her to forsake the gold. Her friends again started suggesting her that she could get her ears pierced at some higher level and again wear the gold ornaments. But she simply refused by saying that she does not want to go through the same kind of ordeal once again. Never ever after that she wore any of the gold ornaments. She often tells that when she remains at Bariar village, essence of Naam increases and it decreases when she goes back to Kaee. Sant Ji shared his spiritual experience as blessed by Satguru Ji with his uncle, Chacha Ji. Sant Ji came home to avail his leave from his army duty. His spiritual level at that time was such that he would remain continuously absorbed in Naam Simran all through 24 hours of the day. As the verse says, Jina saas giras na visre, har nama man mant, tan se sei nanaka, puran soi sant. Those who do not forget the Lord with each breath and morsel of food, whose minds are filled with the mantra of the Lord's name, they alone are blessed. O Nanak, they are the perfect saints. He asked his uncle as to why during his childhood days he always used to call him a sadhu. His uncle told him that he never used to play like other children and his habits were totally different from all of them. He further told him that he used to make small houses by cutting sticks from the thorny trees which were planted by the family for little puppies by saying that they also feel cold like all of us. The whole family would always scold him for cutting the trees. When he would be asked to keep a watch in the melon fields, he would distribute melons to his friends free of cost. The family would again reprimand him, but I, uncle, used to save him from all of them. He, uncle, told him that he always used to save some bread from his meal to give that to the birds or the dogs, and said that even now he was continuing with the same habit. He rarely used to bother about his family. That was why I, uncle, used to call him a sadhu. Sant Ji embraced his uncle and said, I was not a sadhu at that time, but now with the blessings of Satguru Ji, your nephew has actually become a sadhu. Then Sant Ji gave one apple to his mother to eat and said that her womb has become sacred. In his spiritual ecstasy, he told his wife that next year she would be able to see many wonderful events. She would be able to listen to the Anhad Shabad, which is always going on in the court of the God, and proclaimed that Satguru Ji salvages 21 generations of a Gurmukh. His wife asked, that means our deeds will not be evaluated? Clarifying, Sant Ji said that he was employed in the army, but she was also being addressed to as a Havaldarni, and told her that after his death she would be entitled to get the pensionary benefits as well, despite the fact that she had never worked in the army. Similar is the divine process of Satguru Ji. By now, he actually had attained a very high and blissful spiritual level. He was able to listen to the Anhad Shabad unstruck melody all through day and night. Many a time, when he would be in his extreme blissful state, he would display that Anhad Shabad, and whole of the Sangat used to get mesmerized with that. Sometimes Sant Ji would share some secrets out of his spiritual experiences with some of his companions. Bhai Sukhdev Singh is his brother-in-law, Sandu, that is, husband of the sister of his wife. During his marriage ceremony, Sant Ji proclaimed that if one attains sainthood with the blessings of Satguru Ji, then he becomes eligible to take part in various meetings being held in the court of the God, meaning thereby that he becomes witness to all the plans of the God. But he kept stressing that one can never become a saint without the blessings of Satguru Ji, and asked all of them to pray for him. Someone asked him to tell something about various saints of Brahmawali Taksaal. He said that God himself entrusts the saints of the Brahmawali Taksaal with the job of preaching the tenets of Sikhism, and whatsoever duty is entrusted by the God, one is bound to perform that. All of them had been entrusted with the responsibility to baptize the people so as to make them follow Guru's teachings. They are also entrusted with the job to learn and teach Gurbani and decode the message inscribed in it. Satguru Ji does not allow any force to disturb his servant while in meditation. From amongst the relatives of Sant Ji, one of his cousin sisters, Bibi Pyara Ji, used to serve him food. One day she went to serve food. Sant Ji was sitting on a cot under the mosquito net, and he was absorbed in deep meditation in open courtyard. None of the family members were allowed to disturb Sant Ji whenever he used to be in a state of deep meditation. So she thought that whenever Sant Ji would finish with his meditation, she would serve him with food. It was rainy season time. Suddenly it started raining very heavily, which continued for about 1 hour or so. Sant Ji kept sitting without any movement. There was water all around. After the rain stopped and when Sant Ji finished with his meditation, he asked Pyari to bring food. When she reached near the cot, she was astonished to see that neither the mosquito net nor any of Sant Ji's clothes were wet, as if there was no rain. This is how God does not allow any force to disturb His loved ones while they are meditating on His name. Strange are the ways of the God and His loved ones. Meeting with Captain Bua Singh Ji of Amritsar. Various human beings meet each other in this world due to their connections in their previous lives. Similarly, Captain Bua Singh was transferred from Jabalpur and he reached Delhi by train. An army vehicle reached there to receive all the army personnel. On Delhi railway station itself, he met with Sant Ji. Sant Ji was holding the rank of a Havaldar at that time. Sant Ji asked Bua Singh where he was to go. He told him that he was going to army headquarters in the Department of Signal Corps. Sant Ji told him that he too was recently transferred and was going to the same place. After sitting in the army vehicle, they got themselves introduced to each other. By the time they reached their destination, being from the same area, they got well acquainted with each other. They started going to the army Gurdwara together for the evening prayer, that is, to listen to Rahras Sahib. Then they started visiting Gurdwara, Sri Rakabganj Sahib, early in the morning. There Sangat used to jointly recite all the 5 banis of Nitnem. Then on Sundays, they would go to Gurdwara Bangla Sahib and sometimes would go to ashram of Sant Chela Ramji to listen to the hymns of Gurbani. Whenever, during the discourse of Gurbani, somebody would talk about 10th door, Dasam Dwar, Sant Ji used to especially meet him to inquire about the methodology of reciting of Naam. He would ask him to elaborate about the 10th door and where it is situated in the body. Many of the Kathavachaks, the person who delivers religious discourse, would often recite the following couplet of Gurbani. Pacham dware suraj tapeh, Mer dand sir upar basai, Pascham dware ki sil od, Te sil upar khidki aur, Khidki upar dasam dwar, Keh Kabir taka ant na par. The sun blazes forth at the western gate. Through the central channel of the Sushumna, it rises up above my head. There is a stone at that western gate, and above that stone is another window. Above that window is the 10th gate. Says Kabir, it has no end or limitation. They used to recite this whole Pauri stanza. Following such religious routines, 5 years passed by. Sant Ji used to meditate in the name of God for at least 8 hours a day after his duty hours. He was supposed to carry out specific duties like supervising the parade and ensuring everyone's presence because eatables were issued according to the attendance in the parade only. Everybody right from the soldiers to the higher officers could not escape from getting influenced by the lifestyle of Sant Ji. Whenever any of them would meet Sant Ji, invariably he would request him to share his experience about God. One Rushnadi Ram Subedar Major, who belonged to Kangra, was immediate senior of Sant Ji. Whenever Sant Ji would salute him, he with all his humility would request Sant Ji not to do so because he, Sant Ji, was a loved one of the God Almighty. Sant Ji would always reply that being in uniform, it was his duty to salute him, but the Major would plead that he always feels embarrassed with that. He used to respect Sant Ji too much and would always try to remain around him. He would keep on requesting Sant Ji to share some of his spiritual experiences because his words always calmed down his disturbed mind and heart. He would say, Sant Ji, your words are so sweet and attractive that nobody can escape without being influenced by them. Many lives were transformed for the betterment after coming in contact with Sant Ji. In army, nobody is allowed to go anywhere without permission. But Sant Ji's superiors had given him a free hand to go anywhere according to his wish. Being his companion, Captain Bua Singh would also take this advantage and would accompany him to various religious congregations. Sant Ji quite often would visit Sant Chelaram's ashram because kirtan programs used to be held there quite frequently. Not only that, Sant Chelaram Ji himself used to perform kirtan by getting deeply engrossed in Gurbani. Sant Chelaram Ji was secretary to the then Prime Minister, and his whole family used to respect Guru Granth Sahib Ji. All of them used to wear white clothes. The robes of Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji were also made from the white cloth. It was Satguru Ji himself who had made all these arrangements of freedom for Sant Ji, so that his devout Sikhs' appetite for the kirtan could be satiated. Bua Singh would closely observe Sant Ji's conduct during kirtan programs. One day he told his wife that a day would come when he, Sant Ji, would be known as a renowned personality of Sikh Panth. Captain Bua Singh would get quite impressed when Sant Ji would keep sitting in deep meditation without any movement throughout night. After some time, Sant Ji was transferred from Delhi to Kolkata. Bowing to the commandment of Satguru Ji, soon after he got premature retirement from the army. End of audiobook part 1.